Good afternoon, everyone. Absolutely, there is a technical issue is going on. That's why we have to, in between, stop the session. So now we are going to continue with the rest of the sessions. Thank you so much. I am Dr. Aditi Kulkarni, and she is Dr. Maya. She is
Hello,
the
all of
director
you.
of Chirayu Clinic, and she is working in the field of Ayurveda since almost around 2002, and she has started her own clinic since 2013. My clinic has completed, that means Be Active, our own clinic has completed 7 years successfully, and on the occasion of the 7th anniversary and launching a new facility, which is Be Active Clinic's a new facility like a physiotherapy, ergonomics, electrotherapy, Reiki healing, and along with the same is an exercise medicine recently we have started, and on the occasion of that we have arranged live talks. So our speaker is with us. She is expert in Ayurveda, the Panchakarma, then there is a proper setup which is very good in the pandemic setup, which is she is maintaining her extreme levels of hygiene. The second important part of her career, or all I can say, is a practice. She is doing a Panchakarma. Obesity, she has an expertise in. Then the hormonal imbalance, the PCODs. Sometimes she has dealt with many MFR, like sports injuries. She has dealt with many patients, and I have got a very good results with her. The third is that now recently, which is the upcoming field, is a Garbha Sanskar, which is now becoming the necessity, as well as it is our priority also to do it at the time of the pregnancy also. So those also she has an expertise in. She is practicing main number of pathies, but her majority is the Ayurveda, and she is Ayurveda Charya. She practices purely Ayurveda. So without wasting a much time, we'll start our today's topic, which is totally based on the muscle, bone, musculoskeletal disorders, how exactly Ayurveda can help you in the field of physiotherapy along with Ayurveda. It goes hand in hand. So those things we are going to understand from Dr. Maya, what exactly it is about and how Ayurveda can help us in the daily routine to overcome the musculoskeletal pain and the disorders which we are going through, or otherwise other aspects of the Ayurveda. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here and giving us your valuable time.
Thank you, Dr. Aditi Kulkarni. I really appreciate for this platform which you have initiated.
Thank you so much.
For professionals from various specialized fields. It's a real great opportunity. And let me tell you about Ayurveda, that Ayurveda as well as Panchakarma treatments are really useful and helpful as prevention as well as for cure. I'm practicing here in Aund, Pune since almost 2002. I have been interacting with Dr. Aditi also with lot of people coming up with back pains and neck issues. So let me go ahead telling you that how prevention can help you as well as how we can treat your ailments. Now as we go ahead, we will start a small prayer and then go ahead. So close your eyes. Namami Dhanvantarimadhidevam Suraihi Vanditapadapadmam Loke Jararuk Bhayamrutyunashanam Dataramisham Vividhaushadhinam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let me start with our session. Now, as you already have waited, now let me tell you about Ayurveda, that Ayurveda is a science of life. It's an age-old science of medicine, branch of medicine. And we know that the fundamentals and principles are being acknowledged and accepted all over. So when we see, even during the pandemic, the immunity was something which was really focused on, and how if you have a good immune system, you can deal to prevent infections as well as how you can recover from the ailments. So now when I tell you about this, let me explain about the physical health as well as the mental health. Now a physically or a healthy body or a healthy person generally should be physically fit, mentally sound, as well as the soul or a contented soul, where we mean to say that he's kind of not disturbed, or mentally every phase of life is different. We can't be happy all the time, but at least not be disturbed or uneasy. Now, when a person can be physically and mentally fit, it attributes according to Ayurveda to the three doshas, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Now these, let me just explain in short, because you need to know some, in short about this. When I say Vata dosh, it means that all the movements are regulated. It's like a remote control. The Pitta and the Kapha, Pitta dosh are the different hormones or the body heat, and the Kapha are the secretions which are in your eyes, it is in your mouth cavity, it is in the intestinal tract. So these are the mucosa, what we say. So these are the Vat, Pitta and Kapha dosh. So Ayurveda has attributed that if these doshas are in balance, you do tend to be healthy physically as well as mentally. Now how this can be? For example, I'll give you an example that if you are having some stomach cramps or a headache or a migraine at your workplace, and you suddenly develop that pain, you will not be able to concentrate on your work. You will be disturbed. You will be focusing on the pain itself. So this is how mentally and physically you can be disturbed. Even stress can lead to hyperacidity or gastrointestinal problems. So this we will get to know as and how I tell you. Now all this is attributed to your lifestyle. Now Vata, Pitta, Kapha, that is the imbalance of this is attributed to your lifestyle, the way you lead your life, and that is Ahar, Vihar and Nidra, your food habits, your day-to-day activities and your sleep pattern. So this is very, very important, the way you try to take care of it. What you tried, the way, like Ayurveda says that your body is like a temple, or the Agni, that is Jathar Agni, what we say. What you try to do today, definitely it will have an impact on your body as well as mind tomorrow. So as we have seen in the earlier lectures also. So now when I talk about Ahar, let me tell you that we all know about, we read about books, we read on the Google so much about nutrition, we try to follow for a day, for a week, but then we don't follow that religiously. So what is important is to follow it religiously. Eat right means what is wholesome, what is nutritious, as we have seen in the session yesterday. Secondly, eat at the right time, that is also important, and eating in right proportion. What is right proportion? That is, every person's capacity can be different. So these are the three important R's that we say: eat right, eat at the right time and right proportion. Anything in excess is not good. Anything. So if we like something, maybe it is a sweet that we like. So Ayurveda says Madhur, Amla, Lavana, Katu, Tikta, Kashaya. These are the Shadarasas. So they should also be had or consumed in a proportionate way. We cannot have too much of sweets, too much of spicy food. This can again lead to the increase in Pitta dosh, and that will cause hyperacidity. People may complain of piles. When they come, we have to take the history, which is very important, and we have seen that their food habits are of utmost importance. And here we say, according to Ayurveda, Nidana Parivarjan, that is the causing factor, has to be first told to them, that how they need to maintain or try to make modulations in their lifestyle. Right. So this is the Shadaras that I explained. So eat right, eat well, and what Ayurveda says, always eat in moderation. Even in Marathi we say Saukash Khane, that is Sa Avkash. So leaves some space for the Vayu as well as the water for the digestion to be in a proper way. Next, third important is Langhanam. So what is Langhan? Langhan is not only fasting. It can also mean that you modulate your eating patterns. Sometimes you don't feel hungry, but you still force yourself कि अभी मेरा lunch time हो गया है, अभी मेरा dinner time हो गया है. But that is not necessary. If you are not feeling hungry at a time, try to skip your meal. Try to change it into a formulation where you eat something light, that it can be even, as we say, moong dal and rice khichdi, or you can have only soup, or you can have hot water or ginger which is boiled in water. This is also equally a part of Langhan, where you try to see that your Agni or the digestive fire gets back its capacity. And then if you don't follow this, you try to eat or you force yourself to eat, you tend to get again it will first start with uneasiness, you will not feel well, and then it goes to different kinds of gastrointestinal ailments or other in due course. Like, people who overeat, what happens is the Agni in digestive fire slowly reduces, and this causes metabolic disorders. Now, metabolic disorders is in the long run. Initially, it will cause weight gain, where we have seen even during the pandemic, what good thing happened was that we tried to see that we didn't eat much of junk food. We had homemade food. So I would also request you all that try to follow this in a routine manner. But what also happened during the pandemic, people were eating different variety of food cooked at home, and there was sedentary lifestyle, and also they felt relaxed. They were waking up at their own time, also going to sleep throughout the day as and when possible if there was no work. So this also had an impact on their system, and it also led to weight gain. People did come to problems. Even young girls have come with problems like weight gain, irregular menses to me, and which had happened in the last 3 months also. So this we have treated with proper regulation of their lifestyle as well as medication. Next, let me tell you about the exercise, that is how you can follow your exercise regime, or what we say vihar. Now this is of utmost importance that you need to follow this in a regular manner, and consistency is the most important thing. If you are doing any kind, like going for a brisk walk, for your it can be a routine work like you are jogging, or you are doing surya namaskar, yoga, any form of dance, but let it be done in a regular manner or in a consistent manner. Take the guidance, don't just follow videos, but take the guidance of people who are specialized in it, so that you don't get sprains, aches and back pains, as we have seen. We both have seen that if it is done in a wrong manner, and especially wrong posture, so wrong posture is when people do sit, stand and sleep in a wrong way. They tend to get all musculoskeletal issues, which can be related to the back pain, the neck pain, as well as if they don't sleep in the right way.
Right.
We have dealt with such cases.
Very true.
Yeah.
Because postures makes an utmost important aspect when you're doing an exercise, which is the important aspect of even Ayurveda. Because once you are into an exercise, the postures plays the utmost important role. If you're not doing an exercise, whatever may be the food you're eating is never going to get digest also. So the absorption of the nutrients inside your stomach, nutrition balance has to get maintained. And for that, you have to regularize your exercise pattern as well as your daily routine, like a walk or the stair climbing, any kind of a cardiothoracic activity. Yes.
So let me just show you this before we go ahead, that jase anna tase tan va man. The way you eat your food, if you have a good balanced diet, wholesome food, you will definitely feel, good, kind of, energetic. But if it is lacking the good nutrients, you may feel lethargic, you may not feel sound. So that is a part. Eating too much of spicy food can increase your pitta content. You can also feel more irritable. That is what we have seen. And people who tend to have more of stale food, that is junk food, or even the leftover food, even that can be a problem at times, and that is also giving a lot of fatigue and lethargy, or the increase in kapha dosh as per Ayurveda. So then I told you about vihar, or the vihar. Let me tell you one important thing, that vega vidharan according to Ayurveda is what we have observed. Now let me tell you about this. Urges, the urge to control your hunger, the urge to control your thirst, that is we say kshuda, trushna, or even to go to the washroom. We tend to control this, but this is not good for your health. We need to see that we should not do this. But on the contrary, some urges need to be controlled. And what is that? Anger, frustration, greed. So here it is called lobha, and so try to see that if these urges are always, you try to vent it out in front of everyone, it is not good for your own self. You are hurting your own self somewhere, and that gives you a feeling of guilt slowly. So not going too much in detail, it was just something to highlight on. Next is about your sleep pattern, which is equally important. Every person has a different requirement of sleep. It can be 6 to 7 hours a day, but this sleep pattern can be variable as per a person. Some people need more, some people less, but what is important, don't stay awake for late nights, be it your work, your working schedule, be it for your parties, whatever, which was like nowadays the trend, or even watching videos. That is not good. The screen usage disturbs your, it's not good for your eyes as well as the brain. And what we hear of late is of digital detoxification we are seeing.
Very true.
So it is not the right way. Also, sleeping during the daytime can also cause a lot of lethargy. You may not feel fresh, and that too odd time of the day. Yeah, if you have not had a good sleep and one of the days you have tried to overcome it, it's a different thing. Okay, so that is what I want to tell you about what is important. The food, The vihar, that is your daily activities, and the nidra, that is your sleep pattern, should be in a regular manner to stay healthy, which is very important. And let me tell you or give you a few examples. Now here is the work-life balance that I just wanted to show before that. Yeah, so that is very important, and the good posture, as I told you. Okay, and
This is the balance what she was talking about. Everywhere the postures, as well as the balanced diet, as well as your lifestyle, and along with the Ayurvedic practices, that means the simple implementations in the daily routine. This is the balance you can achieve. Yes.
okay. So yeah, before that I'll just explain about the food part, what I was trying to tell you, that Ayurveda has mentioned some things. Here it is what we say about the pathya. So when Ayurveda talks about the treatment part, here it tells you that shaman, that is these doshas, if they are not in a good state or moderately increased, we can do the medicinal treatment. If they are aggravated to such an extent like boiling of the milk and it is coming over, that is it is in a advanced stage, we need panchakarma treatments, and most important is the pathya, that is the diet. So here Ayurveda also advises that curds, when you are having curds, it is not advisable according to Ayurveda. Also it has told you that try to have the curds in a specific way, that is convert it, or churning of the curds is what we call samskar of the curds, and it is churned and converted into buttermilk. So with this samskar we have guna parivartan in that, that is the qualities change in the buttermilk, and it is much advisable. It is suitable for many patients for acidity, for piles, even on a daily basis. So tak or buttermilk is considered amrut.
Right.
Yeah. Secondly, here I will tell that as we talk about dinacharya, that is your daily routine, is definitely important, but rutucharya, that means a seasonal change, also is necessary. Now today being Makar Sankrant, on even during this time we are having til gul, that is til gul ghya, and we also have this jaggery as well as til. Now this is a good source of calcium as well as iron, and also it increases the heat within your body. So it is advisable, a festive thing that we have. But even if this we continue, and that too in a larger extent on a daily basis or even during the summers, it will not be advisable, because it will increase the heat to such an extent that it will give rise to other ailments, including your body heat will increase, and that will give rise to many others, like acidity is one of them, migraine and headaches associated, and many others. Even some people can be affected like with piles also. So what we try to say and tell them, that summer is generally heat, or the more we see that it is like a hot season. Winter we see that now it is the cold season, and rainy season is vata pradhan. So we need to change our diet as per the seasons also. So in summer we advise to take curds and sugar, but otherwise buttermilk is generally advised for all prevention as well as cure. Similarly, during rainy season, the vata dosh is in excess. We see people with lot of ailments, like even right from constipation, gastric complaints, joint pains. So here we advise them something like ginger water, sunt or dry ginger in hot water, garlic, jeera. These have to be used in your diet. And during the winter, spices like black pepper are advisable, but see that the spices also should be used in the right way and in right proportion. Do not have them in excess, otherwise this again can cause problems to you. And every person, like jitkya vyakti titkya prakruti, as we say. So people, every person is different, every person's constitution is different, so they need the advice also as well as the treatment in different way. Okay, so unhealthy lifestyle can cause various problems. That is what I want to tell you now. It can be right from, like people can have asthma, they can have weight gain, hypertension, and then back pain or musculoskeletal problems that we have seen, migraine, hyperacidity, a lot of ailments. So that is all we see, that unhealthy lifestyle in the long run can cause, as per your prakruti, as per your constitution. So yeah, so this is, let me explain something more. The chikitsa treatment ahead. I think it's, yeah. So let me tell you about this. So when we talk about Shaman, Shodhan and Shaman, Shodhan, no, this one, it meter. Here, Shaman, Shodhan and the diet. As I told you about the unhealthy lifestyle. Now here, when I tell you about the Lavan also, hypertension, let me tell you that salt intake needs to be restricted overall. Now salt is important for the taste also, as well as it needs some salt, sugar is required, as we require glucose intake also. Sodium is required for a good, I mean in a reasonable amount. But the salt thing has such a nice, that Ayurveda has explained that everything is important and in a different way. When we use this salt for gargles, like hot water gargles, for fermentation outside, with osmosis, it will reduce the edema. But when it goes within your body in excess, it will increase the fluid retention. It will increase the edema, which is not good. And that can cause or lead to various metabolic problems in due course. So Lavan in your diet or salt in your diet needs to be in a controlled manner. And that's what I want to say. Next is Chikitsa. Let me tell you about Panchakarma treatments. Now here Panchakarma treatments are given to people who will have different ailments in a very varied stage, where they have crossed, like the hyperacidity is quite chronic. They have taken lot of treatment for it, but they are unable to they are just popping up pills, but nothing is helping them. So at that stage, we need to give them certain treatments like Vaman, where the body needs to be cleansed. And this body can be cleansed with a pre-treatment, that is Snehan and Swedan. And all the Panchakarma treatments are done with the pre-treatment of Snehan and Swedan. So here, let me explain. I think it's not yes. Maybe it's not there. It's okay. So Snehan and Swedan, let me explain. Now what is Snehan? Let me give an example before this. That is what we do on a regular basis also are oil massages. So when we do these massages, it is good for your skin tone. It is good for blood circulation to reduce the dryness. So people should be taking massages on a regular basis otherwise also. And in the winter time it is good, but even otherwise it's not considered like a luxury. Previously people used to apply til oil and massage at home and take a warm water bath, but now because of our hectic lifestyle and all, it is not being followed. But it is also important, even for smaller children it is of utmost importance, because there we need to do it in the right way. What is important? Snehan has to be done in a right way. Next is when we are explaining about Swedan, that is Snehan and Swedan. Swedan is fermentation. Now when we do hot fermentation or fermentation, it has to be done in a specific manner to open up the pores so that the oil, medicinal oil, is absorbed in a good manner. Here let me tell that when it is, we have to differentiate. Suppose a person comes with joint pain and we have advised Snehan Swedan, that is massage and steam. We cannot give the patient, a patient with rheumatoid arthritis, normal Swedan. We need to give what is called Ruksha Swed. As I mentioned earlier, we generally give a dry Swedan, that is with sandbag or salt bag. So this is a particular medicated salt, and that's how we try to give the fermentation. So in this way, we need to see whether there is the pain is because of some nutritional deficiency, the history taking, and everything matters a lot, and that's how we have to decide on the way of treatment. So now let me again come to the Purva treatment or the pre-treatment, as we say, of Vaman. So Vaman will help in people who have generally hyperacidity, psoriasis or skin ailments and asthma. So here we see that we give them, induce the vomiting in such a way that all the pitta and the kapha dosha is brought about, and then they feel much better, and then we give them the required medicinal dose and the diet, which is equally important. The next that we have is Virechan. In Virechan we give normal purgatives, which are also helpful in patients with migraine, hyperacidity. Similarly, we have one more of our Panchakarma treatment, that is Nasya and what is Nasya is Nasa hi Shiraso Dwaram. So the nasal nostrils are the openings which are closer to your shira or the brain. So it will see that your motor or the cranial nerves which are there, it will nourish it. So it will also nourish your hair roots. So nasya is very important in sinusitis, for people who are suffering from insomnia, for mental ailments also, which is loss of memory, and it also helps in basically when there is hair fall and also premature graying of hair. So we have seen we use different kinds of oils for this nasya treatment in different ailments. Next is what we see is Netra Tarpan. Now what is Netra Tarpan? That when people are nowadays, they are trying to use too much of screen, and screen usage has increased, be it your laptop, be it on the mobile. And here we need to see that the dry eyes especially has become a very common problem. The stress and strain on the eyes has increased. So Netra Tarpan can help this, as well as in general to prevent also further problems of the eyes, as well as a curative treatment. The next that we also have is Rakta Mokshan. Now Rakta Mokshan is very important for various skin ailments, and it can take care of various skin ailments, and we have seen it and used it in different patients. These are the different procedures that we do, that is Kati Basti, Janu Basti, for the knee joint pain, for the back pains, for spondylosis, cervical spondylitis. So here we have seen, we have also referred to Dr. Aditi also for certain physiotherapy and other exercises, and also we have seen that such treatments help to strengthen the muscles. They go a long way along with specific exercises and also the required way of treatment. And in different ailments we have seen good results. The next that I will be telling you is about Shiro Abhyanga and त्याच्यानंतर Shirodhara. So this is important, very important. Let me tell you what is Shiro Abhyanga. Is massaging to your head, but people are off late really not doing it either at home or even otherwise. But Shira is the center of all your activities, of all the motor activities, of all the sensory activities. You can feel tired, you can feel fatigued, but if you do a head massage, if you may feel refreshed. Why? Because your brain, which is taxed, it is exerted, fatigued, it will feel refreshed, after doing the massage, because it improves the circulation, and it has to be done in a particular way. Rigorous massage is also not good. It has to be soothing. Similarly, Padabhyanga is also seen in this picture or shown. Padabhyanga, that is the massage to your feet, is equally important, because the pressure points on the sole of the feet are also relaxing to your eyes as well as to your head, and it helps you to function in a better way, to make you feel refreshed, and it is equally important. So although we feel ki these are small things, people are aware of all these things, but it is not being implemented, it is not being practiced. So people do come off late for regular massages, and we have seen that males come more than females, because females never want to give time to themselves, kind of the self-care which is important. And when we keep the Women's Day special package and all, they readily come and then they continue, because they realize how important it is for them, So here after Shiro Abhyanga, let me tell you an important thing is Shirodhara, which is off late. What we have seen, people come with lot of stressful issues, anxiety and stress related migraine, and they can have hair fall and many other associated complaints. So here Shirodhara, or we say the Ajna Chakra, which is in between the two eyebrows, the oil, or it can be at times medicated buttermilk, which is generally used for this treatment. It really helps a lot of patients with headaches, as well as for other problems like insomnia, that is sleep problems, and even for hair fall and grey, so that we decide as per the constitution. Here also let me tell you, as I told you before, about the Potali Swed, or for the musculoskeletal problems, we have used this treatment of Potali Swedan. We have seen a person with cervical spondylosis, and the muscle strengthening really helps such patient, even for muscular weakness, back pain. And this can be due to wrong postures, it can be due to their strenuous working style where they are either sitting for long hours or standing for long hours. So we need to tell them that what they need to avoid along with this treatment, and that can go a long way. Now in Ayurveda, we also saw, here I will also, because we were talked about Shirodhara, let me tell you certain medicinal herbs which have really helped people, because we saw even during the pandemic, even because of the hectic lifestyle, we have seen people suffering from a lot of mental agony, anxiety, depression, and we have seen certain Ayurvedic herbs which have helped a long way, like Ashwagandha, Brahmi, Jatamasi, Vacha. So we have the herbal preparations, formulations for the same, which we give them in required dosage as per the constitution. And also, and when we tell you about the mental aspect, here comes the to build up your immunity. We have certain herbs where we have tried to give the patients, like amla. People ask me that what all should we take for building up the immunity. Now Ayurveda has recommended even suvarna yukta honey, that is honey and ghee in required proportion even to a newborn child, but people are today scared to take that. People are generally scared to take this or give it to the small child, but suvarna yukta or honey and ghee also should not be in sama praman. Sama praman means it should not be in equal proportion, otherwise it is considered toxic to the body as per Ayurveda. Similarly, when we tell recommend Chavanprash, it can be had on a daily basis, but still you should take the advice of your doctor. Similarly, turmeric milk, or what we saw about golden milk. Golden milk or turmeric milk is an antiseptic. It is very good for your health overall. But see that people should not be having 3 times in a day just because it is good. It needs to be consumed in a proper way. For people who have acidity issues, we tell them at least once or twice a week to have milk with little bit of ghee in it at bedtime. It really helps and soothes your nerves as well as clears your intestinal tract. It is called anulomak or amrudu, like a laxative we can say, and it really helps in a long way. So like that, we have different herbs also, like amla, which builds up your immunity, the turmeric, the amruta or guduchi is a very important herb, and it can take care of even the aches and pains, keep your immunity under control. Pipali or Pipali Rasayan it is called. It is good for the upper respiratory tract infections. So this is what I wanted to tell you about your general health, how it can be maintained in a good way if you have a good lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, which is equally important. If you follow this in a regular manner, and dinacharya, as I told you, and rutucharya, that is the seasonal changes which also need to be transformed. Okay, so that is how we can try to see. And most important, I just want to show you one slide, so we can just try and tilt it. So this is about the mental thing which I just wanted to explain. Surya Namaskar and yoga, you need to do it with under proper guidance. So medicine, exercise, proper diet and proper sleep is very important. Let me tell you, last and not the least, is about your mental anxiety, mental state of mind. That is, if you keep the thoughts, your anger, your frustration each time within yourself, you will definitely feel sad and bad about it more than the others. This feeling of guilt, as I told you. So it's like rotten fruits or rotten vegetables. So decluttering your mind is also equally important. You need to see that you channelize your mind in different ways, keeping yourself busy either with your work, also with different hobbies, like what people can attribute to your different hobbies, which can be gardening, singing, whatever you can do. But that's how you can motivate yourself. No one can motivate you other than your own self, which is very important. So you should be mentally as well as mentally stable and physically fit if you want to deal with this. Because if you're not able to think if you're physically unhealthy, you will not be able to think in a good way. And if you need to be mentally active, you need to nutritional supplements are equally important.
Very
As
true.
we have seen that even with vitamin D3 deficiency, B12 deficiency, we have seen people getting lot of depressive attacks.
And anxiety attacks are pretty
Yeah.
much common when you have a nerve and tonic deficiencies, and also with the vitamin D3.
Correct.
Omega, then the glucosamine, or otherwise there is a deficiency of vitamin B12. If the electrolytes are imbalanced, then definitely the neurological conditions as well as the musculoskeletal conditions, both are going to get hampered. So if the sudden changes are happening, you should need to be cope up with. So those cope up word comes with your this nerve and tonic along with your electrolyte balance.
Absolutely.
So sudden change you have to adapt.
Yes.
So sudden things are happening, that particular trauma also you have to adapt. So those are ample in your body. Definitely you will be able to cope up with those kind of a thing. This is what I actually practice it. If there is a deficiency, whenever there is a deficiency, I recommend if people are interested with the Ayurveda, I recommend to her. If there is some other medicines which are in the homeopathy, which is now in the upcoming events, will come to know. But otherwise also, if they have a deficiency, treat it. Otherwise, physiotherapy or any other therapy also is not going to help you to come out of that particular pain or otherwise the symptomology, because underlying root cause is going to be there. So they
Correct.
have to overcome that, they have to treat it, they have to take the proper diet. The way she mentioned about the modification of the lifestyle and the 3 pillars which we have seen in the shown in the previous slide. The 3 pillars has to get balanced. So all the 3 things you have to modify in your life, balance in your life. So automatically things will fall in place for you.
Yeah, so let me just
Sure.
what I
Yes.
remembered suddenly is people are nowadays going for diet schedule which is very they go for crash diet or lack of no fats and all. But fats are also equally important for your body to give you energy. Carbohydrates, proteins, the supplements are equally necessary. So similarly, the fats are also necessary, but I don't say that you have to use. You can definitely switch over to olive oil. You can take ghee in your diet. So ghee is very important for your joints. Here what I am trying to tell you is sandhanakar, or what we say the cartilage. That is generally, it needs milk, it needs the ghee to a certain extent within your body, and also for your mind. What we say is the ghruttapan, or the intake of ghee is actually good for you, for your smruti, for your memory also, as well as for your body also. And it can be in very small amount on a daily basis. Even for children, for adults, we advise them to have panchamrut, which is very good as an immunity booster. And so Ayurveda always says swasthasya swasthya rakshanam aturasya prashamanam cha. So it aims at prevention and then the cure or the curative treatment. So what we always try to tell you is first focus on how your habits have actually, with due course, with your work schedule, what has changed, what has brought about the ailments, and then we can try to get rid of it completely in a better way with medicines, proper treatment, and your lifestyle management. So this is very important.
Very true.
Yeah, and even people who have a unhealthy lifestyle, they too tend to get metabolic disorders like thyroid issues, weight gain, diabetes mellitus. So this can be individually or genetically also a causative factor, but definitely your lifestyle management or bringing about changes in your lifestyle can definitely go a long way. It can help you to in a proper way to get rid of your ailment. At least when you live with that problem, what Ayurveda also mentions is yapya. Yapya means the disease is like a person is suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, a person is suffering from diabetes mellitus, but at least that person can still live a good life by following certain advice as per your doctor, as per the changes in your lifestyle, and then it will not be as difficult for them to live each day.
Very true. Because there are certain conditions which are coming positive in your blood.
Correct.
Ankylosing spondylosis, rheumatoid
Yes.
arthritis.
Right.
Then sometimes it's a genetically passed on disorders like Parkinson's, multiple myalgia, multiple sclerosis. Sometimes we can come across. the modification of the lifestyle along with physiotherapy, the modification of your diet along with managing the entire balance of the healthy lifestyle, the overall well-being is going to get maintained. Because if you're totally into the imbalanced diet and you are expecting that recovery with the physiotherapy, it is not going to help you. The coordination, the balance, nutrition is required. Then whenever the well-being is going to get maintained, definitely Ayurveda is going to give you the soothing effect, because the spasticity sometimes is getting developed, sometimes it's you need to relax those muscles, sometimes you need to contract that paralyzed muscles, sometimes it's with the reduced lubrication in your joint muscles. Then the Ayurveda part comes and they can definitely help you to get the lubrication back. They can help you with the recovery with the cartilages, with the labrum. Then you can say the ligamentum issue. Everything can be managed at a certain extent. So to maintain the well-being, definitely Ayurveda is a subordinate therapy along with the exercise or the fitness part along with your physiotherapy. Yes, over to you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
sorry.
really, I mean, agree to whatever she's saying, and I really say that posture, your food habits, as well as your sleep pattern is very important. And here, whatever you eat throughout the day, Ayurveda has said even when you have water, that water is also like a medicine within your body. Any food that you have is also a medicine if you eat it in the right way, in a right manner. If you have too much of water during your meals also, it is not good for digestion. Water has to be had, and especially warm water is advised most of the time, at least early morning as soon as you wake up, and at bedtime at least, so it helps to see that your doshas or your toxins are digested with it. So even with water, even with every food that Ayurveda says, I won't go much in detail, but it has its own benefit if it has had at the right time. What it says, some medicines we give before food, some we give after food. So that is when what we see is that apan vayu or the pachak pitta, this all is taken into account when we give the medicine. Even we have seen patients with colitis or what it is called. So even for them, we need to give the medicine at a particular time or
slot.
with constipation also.
Right.
So this is how we see that at bedtime. So every medicine or everything will have a particular time, that is also equally important.
And would like to know your opinion on the hot water taking throughout a day.
Yeah, see, I won't
Because
suggest.
in COVID, this practice is getting followed. So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it is beneficial or it is
It's
actually
a
not advisable?
good question that you asked me. See, every person's constitution is different,
Right.
and here I will tell you that hot water, depending on season. Again, I'm telling you, it's the constitution. It is the season. In winter time, having warm water, not also hot water, lukewarm water can be beneficial because the outside atmosphere is cold. You also feel that the body, the digestive power should be good. So considering that, warm water is advisable. But the
Okay.
same thing if it continues during summer,
Right.
some people can definitely get, problems related to that. And even I saw when people were following even the spices to a lot of extent, even
Right,
during the
right.
pandemic. And there had been some who actually called me because they had burning of micturition, they had acidity issues. So this was what I had told, and then I had to monitor the intake of spices in their body. They used to boil dalchini, black pepper, and whatever they were, they
We
used
call
to,
it as kadha. We
whatever
made it.
they used to hear about this.
Yes.
And here, let me tell you an antidote on this, which is a very thing that dhane, आपण जे म्हणतो,
Yes,
coriander,
coriander.
is very good diuretic. It helps to reduce your body heat to a good extent. And we have seen that patients have been definitely benefited when the heat has
Heat has
increased.
increased. Okay.
Yeah.
And is it something like you have to drink 2 to 3 liters of water
Haan,
every day?
this is also a
because
very-
people keep drinking.
Correct,
Wherever they are visiting the clinic,
Yeah.
they are with the big, huge
Yeah.
water bottle.
So you-
what you are going to do
Yeah,
with this?
you can definitely keep a track on how much water you are drinking every day, but
Okay.
it need not be that you are drinking 2 to 3 liters of water,
Right.
because every individual may have a varied capacity according to their body weight, according to their digestive power. Even water is not recommended for people who have lot of, who mandagni, what we say, roge sarva api mandagno, means where the digestive power is low.
Okay.
The patient will not be able to digest water also. And so
Oh.
Ayurveda has recommended how to have that water in a
Right.
different way. So here it cannot be generalized. What I'm trying to say is things cannot be generalized.
Right.
Don't go by the ads, don't go by the Google or whatever you have read. It can be an individual thing and it may not be advisable to each person.
Right.
Even people who are wanting to follow a 2-meal diet,
Hmm.
it may not be fruitful for another person whose agni or digestive power is more, and he or she needs meals at regular intervals, maybe fruits, maybe buttermilk, or in any way.
Okay.
It needs to be regulated, because some people can start getting migraine attacks or headache even if they are following just a 2-meal diet.
2-meal diet.
So
because it's a starvation for almost
correct.
around 24
Right,
hours,
absolutely.
almost like that.
And
So-
for each person, and you need to make changes after a particular day.
Right.
That, I mean, if it is above 1 month, you have followed that, but after 1
Right.
month, you need to make changes as how your metabolism has taken it, and
Right.
how you can continue it further.
Nowadays, upcoming part is that the weight bearing mechanism has increased, and you have to reduce the obesity.
Yes.
Based on that, any advices for us to reduce the visceral fat?
Okay, yeah. See, visceral fat, as we say, you mean to say the belly fat?
The belly
and
fat, the visceral fat.
Yeah, so
Yes,
here
yes.
what we do a treatment called Udvartan. So Udvartan, or the dry powder massage, is very good for reducing the visceral fat or the belly fat and general flabbiness on your body. So it is done initially with an oil massage followed by Udvartan. But most important here, I will again focus on two things, that is the muscle tone. Your abdominal muscle toning, your calf muscle, everything needs to be monitored, as well as your toning can be done along with regular exercises, which is very important. And because you generally sit for long hours,
Right.
that can increase your belly fat, and you need to see that this toning, otherwise it will cause laxity of the abdomen. So it
Oh.
needs toning.
Right.
And this toning, because what will happen, we will do a treatment for a particular period,
Right,
but
right.
later on they have to follow a routine.
Core muscle strengthening.
Correct.
So
Correct.
the entire muscle toning and the core muscle
Yes,
is important.
yes.
Okay.
And here even the hot water plays an important role,
Okay.
where we also tell them that it will see that the fat also, it will help in the metabolism of the fat also.
Okay.
That is when we advise them or we give them medicines, we ask them to take Anupan with warm water. Anupan means followed by,
the warm water. Okay.
So all three things will definitely help. That is the intake of medicines, Udvartan, and especially the exercises for muscle tone.
Muscle tone. Very true. So now audiences, ma'am had given us a wonderful information on the Ayurveda, as well
I
as
just
how
want to show
exactly
this
the diet.
slide, last.
Yes, the diet has to be maintained. And now this last slide, which is with the peace and the mind and the good health, is the real wealth. What she's trying to show it to us is the person sitting with the yoga postures. The all chakras are totally balanced. And in the initial 2 sessions of our Reiki, then the naturopathy, along with there was a Heal Your Life balance. So both the things with the chakra balancing and everything, they have taught us. But what chakra is all about, you just go through our previous sessions, you will come to know. And the balancing part, the Nadi Parikshan, then how Ayurveda is important in your daily life. This is about your real wealth, because your health is your real wealth. This is what
Yes.
that slide was showing. Yes.
So as we also, we during pandemic, we were telling each other also always as stay strong, stay calm, stay safe. But this is what I always want to tell you, in every phase of life, we are going to have ups and downs. So see that if you need to be physically fit as well as mentally strong to be able to overcome all the difficulties or whatever difficulties that may come your way, and you will be able to pass this phase of life, be it regarding your health, be it the outside circumstances, if you are mentally strong and physically fit to deal with.
Correct. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience, and thank you so much for being patient. And we are really, really extremely sorry for the technical issue which we faced. There was a network issue, we can say. We are really very sorry for the previous wasting your 2 to 3 minutes of the session. Now almost we have done. Now it's a part of your thing that if you have any questions, we are here to answer. If you have any questions, you just have to jot it down in the comment box. We will read it and we will surely try to answer it.
Phone number
That is going to be that.
huh? Okay.
Any questions?
I hope you all have understood
Yes.
the basic principles and fundamentals in a good way. I thank you all the viewers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.